too. I hope that Troopers on Break, Yacht, or Kerrikal, one of those smaller guys that are working their way into the game and into content creation, hope one of them hops on this train as well.
You asked a guy crazy enough to stream this game for over 330 days in a row to hop on this train and talk about this. An issue with Capital Games. Yeah, are you kidding me? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get that out of the way. As you guys see, we have been called out. We are reacting to Nooch, Gerbil, Phil, Beaver, Egnards, and Kerrikal. So we got 6 content creators that we are reacting to, and I guess as Beaver said, hopping on the train. I wouldn't have used the word hop on. Never mind. Point is, there's a hot discussion about the current state of Grand Arena. Now, there's 2 sides from what I was hearing. There's the competitive side, and there's the non-competitive side, like the Carbonite, the Bronzium, Chromium, those arenas as well. So there's 2 sides. So we're going to be able to discuss both sides. I'm going to give my thoughts on both point of views and see where we're going. And just for those of you that are new or maybe just wondering why is this guy talking, I am currently in Kyber 4. So say I'm in that niche. I'm in that niche. But first off, I think Beaver makes a great point in his video about the light speed tokens. So I thought when Lightspeed tokens were dropping that they were going to be an amazing update. I thought it was going to change the game. I thought it was going to be something really fun, exciting, engaging, that was going to help all players get their characters up and running so much faster and make them more accessible so you can get that not that Darth Revan, but like Basilishan Fallen, you can get her relics faster, or you can get Basilishan, or you can get, General Kenobi faster. Maybe get your Jedi Knight Anakin up faster. Maybe your Wampa. Doesn't seem the case. First, they're tying it down to factions, which I can understand. But my biggest issue, which Beaver pointed out excellently, which I will tag his video as well as the other people's videos in the description below. In the free pass, first off, it's at the end and you're only getting one. So if you're not spending money, you're a free to play player. I think it's almost difficult if you're not going for the new marquees and everything. You have to make sure you're logging in 90% of the days of the month if you want to reach level 50 of the episode pass. And once you do, you get a Bronzium Lightspeed token, which it only takes your character to 4 stars gear 12. Okay, gear 12, you're skipping out on so much Chirotech. That's awesome. Yeah. But look what you're getting even when you buy the pass, you're getting the Kyber one, which is level 85, Relic 1, 5 stars. I mean a Chromium Lightspeed token. My apologies. This is not Kyber. Which, okay, you get to Relics with 5 stars. They're gating so much, and the only way you can get a light speed token like Kyber one, I believe, is it's in the store. $15 basically. That's where you get the Relic 5, 7 stars, ability upgrades to 7. And the point I'm trying to make is that CG is all about controlling their resources. Recently, they have opened up the faucet on Omicrons, as you guys see. We see the Omicrons in the episode shipment when that came out. We see Omicrons in the weekly shipments as well for crystals or get three currency. And I think this is a good thing. They're laying loose on that, but you know how it goes. Once CG opens the faucet on something, there's going to be a new material, new prize possession. And then basically, once that happens, they're going to tighten the faucet on that. Oh, hey, there's all your Omicrons. Yeah, yeah, but we have this now. So this feeds into sort of the FOMO, right? And, Zetas used to be the biggest crunch. I remember Arnold said that a Zeta used to be worth $100 to him. Now look at me. I'm a light spender. I'm going for GL Hondo day one unlock, but it's been because of resource management, all that. I've halted all my farms and everything. Point I'm making is Zetas are now you're plentiful on Zetas. It's so easy to get Zetas. You can get them here. You can get them, I believe, not in the episode shipment, in the guild activity. You can get them right here. They're always in the shipments. Don't make me look stupid. Don't make me look stupid in front of my friends. I swear, I know I played this game. I've played this game for over 330 days in a row on live streams. Okay, so I'm looking stupid in front of my friends. Noted. Okay. But there's always packs too, chat. There's always packs where there's some Zetas as well. I think there's a new one. Yeah, right here. Look at this. New one with Zetas and Omicrons. You know what's not in there? Light speed tokens. This all coincides into the topic of discussion that is being presented, which is grand arena matchmaking. So I am going to start from the lower player base, right? So the non-competitive. When you're looking at the competitive realm of Grand Arena, I would say I'm semi-competitive. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm locked in, I'm ready, we're gonna have a good time. Sometimes, like last round, you want to see the engagement that you're getting in Kyber. That's the engagement that CG's getting in Kyber. This is the engagement. Like, I just, I, like, I don't know what it is about managing a game. Ever since they've moved the crystals from Squad Arena into Grand Arena, they've made it so that Grand Arena is, dare I say, the most important game mode in the game. Do I think this is right? No, I don't think so. I think they were fine in Squad Arena. I think the reasons of Squad Arena, like gangs, like gatekeeping people from it. Come on, see, CG, you just didn't want people using free to play teams to counter your pay to win teams to get the highest crystal for their dailies. Be honest, CG. Be honest. And so a lot of people, especially newer mid game players, are going into Grand Arena. And Beaver showed a video from Nooch. Again, I'll have Nooch's video down below where you go into a Grand Arena battle and you're outmatched by two, three, four, five, six, seven. Sometimes you're outmatched by 8 million GP. So let's say you climbed and you farmed efficiently. You got you just reached 4 million. You just started Proving Grounds hard mode. And you're getting those conquest characters slowly up and running, and then all of a sudden you hit into a 10.2 million galactic power roster in Chromium. Even in Bronzium, I have seen screenshots from my viewers because I called them out. I said, "You're lying." I have seen screenshots of Bronzium people going into their matchups and seeing that they are outmatched. I am not exaggerating by 10 million GP. That is unacceptable because at the end of the day, when you are so I'm going to put it like this. if you, we're talking about the non-casuals, you're coming into Grand Arena because you have been working on these characters that you unlocked. You just got some abilities up and stuff like that, and you made your teams and all that. When you go into Grand Arena, the whole point is to see, I want to play this game. I'm semi interacting, because, even though Marvel Strike Force can have a live service, gameplay, turn based game, Capital Games can't. But that's not why we're here. I'm here to play this game. I want to play with these Star Wars characters that I farm. Is everything going to counter everything? No. But it shouldn't be at the point where you hop into a battle with your teams and you stand no chance because your opponent has all relic nines and they have datacrons farmed out of the wazoo at all the focus crons at level 15, all the other level nines for that season, and that's what you're going up against when you're outmatched already by 6 million GP. That's ridiculous. That is uncanny. That is unheard of. That's not fair. And even here, like I'm slightly outmatched and stuff. Okay, fine. GP, he has more GP. But my issue is the fact of Grand Arena used to be fun game mode, a fun environment with the old system where it was based off of GP, where there weren't chromium, bronzium tiers, right? Like you would reach Kyber like through the point system. Okay, that was how it was, but there weren't arenas. And CG is basically doing this, as we all know, because they want, oh, you're not winning? Go ahead and spend this money on this Lightspeed bundle. But guess what? When you buy a Lightspeed bundle, you know what you need, and this is what free to play players go into it blind, and I don't like it. It's scummy of CG. When they get Lightspeed bundles, they're gonna be like, "Great, hey, I have Kylo Ren. I have all the requirements done unlocked." Let's say they have all the Zetas on the characters and all that everything. They're not. They still have to gear up this character, relic this character, and apply 6 Zetas on top of getting the ultimate. And by that time that someone spends that $20, another opponent could be spending $100. Boom, everything day one done. So that's my issue with the casual aspect of Grand Arena. I'm going to give both solutions at the end. Now, when we're looking at the competitive side of Grand Arena, I am going to say this, and it's going to get me some heat. I understand it. I already know Arnold's gonna, he may send Gary over here, but maybe Gary and Grogu can go ahead and kick rocks. Anyways, I believe that Datacrons are not a horrible thing. They're not. They're not. Because it keeps the meta fresh in a sense, right? It keeps it fresh, it keeps it fun, it keeps it engaging, all of that, right? It keeps the game from going stale, which is what an issue that commonly came up when everyone put the exact same team, the exact same composition, which I'm afraid we're falling into, but that's another topic for another day. Maybe I'll start that thread. But anyways, when I'm looking at higher end Grand Arena, it is not about what you farm. It is not about what Zetas and Omicrons you have. If you are in top end, high end Grand Arena, it doesn't matter because everyone's going to have all the characters. Everyone's going to be putting them up at high routes. Everyone's going to have all the Zetas. Everyone's going to have all the Omicrons. That's not what matters. And so CG realized that and they're like, oh, okay. Let's release a broken Datacron and just it's not enjoyable on defense. There is, and I know, oh, troopers, you're going back on your word. No, I'm not. There is a difference, a distinct difference between a Datacron that is okay. That's interesting. That's cool. That's nice. That's awesome, right? It keeps the game fresh, new mechanics and everything. There's a difference between that and then I don't have the Dark Side Raycron, so you're gonna have to excuse me. And then a Dark Side Raycron. Wait, I think my last opponent had one. Pretty sure. Pretty sure. I just want to show it just for perspective. Right here. I believe it was right here. Yes. And then this Kron that is literally having Kyber 1 Whales quitting their Grand Arena or not even wanting to battle it because of the fact that it is so utterly broken. It's not just bringing, oh, it's a new mechanic, it's keeping the team fresh. This is unique. It's breaking the game and is absolutely ridiculous. So that's the issue with the top end Grand Arena. And even then, if keeping that fresh, like I said, it's getting stale. Rosters are blooming. The whales are getting all the new teams, and teams are slowly getting kicked out and stuff. Like Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, he was an interesting Grand Arena team. Kicked to the curbside because you know what? There's a new fresh toy. And that is what CG wants you to do. They want you to invest in all this stuff, and then it slowly trickles down until it goes from your top offense team to your defense to a backwall defense to just sitting in your roster. Like honestly, in Kyber 4, I'm shocked that I still see Gungans because Gungans, oh, they were a tough team. They're really hard. What are they now? If anyone says they're farming Gungans right at this moment, I want to see everything else farmed up in their roster. Or else I am gonna feel so bad for them. Same thing with Malgus. Malgus was so dominant for a year in Grand Arena. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis comes along, which I know the meta shift, it's bound to move. Nothing can be a top tier player, but there it can go from being a top tier player to just making it absolutely, utterly, completely useless. And so here are my solutions for both the whales and the free to play players. I think there's two different ways to go about it, depending on which realm you are in Grand Arena. For the casual players, I heard someone say that there could be like a GP like base and stuff like that, right? I don't know how that would work because that would be typically going back to our old matchmaking, and CG would never like that. Would it be awesome? Yeah, if we went back to matchmaking based off GP within arenas, that would be awesome. But what happens if there's only one guy that has 11 million GP and Bronzium and someone just reached level 85 and just unlocked Grand Arena? Who's gonna get stuck with the 10.1 if there's only one guy and the next highest guy has like 3 million GP? Like, how is that gonna work, right? So it's an interesting thought, not sure. What I think would be best for the casual player fan base, honestly, and this is me being truly full hearted honest, I think the best solution for them is to honestly just give them like a baseline training ground arena where you have a grand arena and you're matching up with players. However, if you are under a certain number of I don't basically what I want is a arena where the smaller accounts where it's like if you're under a million GP and you're at level 85, you go into this arena and you practice against teams of other people. So you practice against let's say there you know how in the beginning arena there's four just like this, but it's one of each. So let's say I'm gonna practice against Rabbit Beaver's Jedi Knight Revan team on the front wall. And then in the back wall, I'll practice against Yachter's. What's a new free to play team? Qui-Gon team. And then on this wall, I'll practice again up against their Jedi training Ray or Zori team. And then back here, I'll practice against Finalizer. I think that would be fun and interesting way to help ease people in because it's not fun when you finally reach that milestone of level 85, whether you paid to get there or whether like through the hyperdrive bundle or if you are basically farming your way there free to play. It's not really an exciting thing where, oh, yay, I can finally do Grand Arena and play against actual people. And then you're just getting smacked around. It doesn't make it enjoyable. And I think my solution of that would be very unique. It would be a fun way to introduce Grand Arena, get people into Grand Arena so that you're still, in a sense, playing Grand Arena. But I don't think there is a way for the GP idea. I love the idea. It would be awesome. It could happen. It's too much like the old idea. Unless you're going to do the part where I don't know if you maybe go in and say, okay, Kyber 4 is for people with this much GP and this many GL. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. Or well, Bronzium would be all right. It's for people who have 0 to 1 GLs, right? And then Carbonite would be 0 GLs, right? I'm trying to think. I think my idea of just introducing people into it and then basically off that, then you get your ranking, right? Like depending on how much you beat your opponent by. Like you get the practice arena and you run against other people's teams, right? Let's say or you even do a few rounds in that arena, right? You're learning about the mechanics of Grand Arena, how banners work, all of that. With CG, make it easier to calculate banners because people get so confused by that in the early game. But I think it would be awesome if they did that. And then based off of that, you get a skill and you're put into arena. So when the people in Erodium, I mean the people in Carbonite, they're 11 million GP, or they get set into re-ranking, so the next 3 rounds are going to determine it. Then you're put into they're going to be taking out Carbonite, throw them in Erodium. Right. So I think that would be a fun, interesting way to get those big end rosters and move them up the chain so much faster so they're not just sitting there. And then setting a floor like a bottom where it's like, okay, you're in this arena now. Your GP is 10 million for a Rhodium 5. You are not going to drop. That's the cap. This is the lowest you can go. And it's guaranteed crystals, yes, but let's be honest, you get more crystals if you win. So it's going to make them want to play and make them want to engage with the game mode. But overall, this wouldn't be an issue if, crystals weren't moved to Grand Arena. But, anyways, second solution for the higher end Grand Arena. It is quite simple. I saw Beaver talk about it. I think Fat Phil talk about it. I saw Egnards talk about it. Expand Grand Arena. It has gotten so boring. It has gotten so stale. We're just going to ignore fleets in this because we're going to pay as much attention to fleets as CG does, which is absolutely zero attention to fleets. So I would say I would make this 6 teams, 5 teams, and then for 3v3, I would do 7 teams. I would do 7 teams. Here. Hold on, chat. Hold on. Let's just go to no edit defense. Whatever. Yeah. So this I would say 6 here. Leave this 5. Leave it 5, but then put 7 here. And so you're adding in reality when you think about it, chat. That's 6 more teams getting added into it. So because you're getting 1 team here on defense, 2 teams back here. But guess what? You're also using one more team on offense here, two more on defense here. I think that would help with the teams. I know eventually some are going to fall out of the meta, XYZ, all that. I understand that. But it just makes sense to do that. The second solution I have is if you are in Kyber, it's sort of like in Clash Royale, right? In Clash Royale, you have seasons, right? You get seasonal reward, like seasonal arenas, XYZ, with different themes, different rewards, all of that. With Kyber, I think it would be quite interesting if we got seasonal events, right? Where you could get like bonus banners if you use this faction on this wall. Sort of like the territory war seasonal buffs and stuff, or like something like that. But I think it would be so cool, like especially around Halloween, like in Kyber. What if it's like, oh, Night Sister, Zombie, and XYZ, and like the Peridia patrol troopers, they get double banners. Something like that. I think that'd be something fun. It would be engaging. It would force you to use those teams. Find a way to slot them into the game to get them to help get a different perspective of Grand Arena, to bring back that excitement, bring back that joy that we have all been craving for. Another example would be like for the anniversary of The Force Awakens, on that day, if a Grand Arena lines up on it, or that week, Resistance and First Order, they both have increased stats in honor of the anniversary for Kyber only. For Kyber only. I want to make this loud and clear. This would be for Kyber only to spice up the arena and stuff like that. Because Datacrons, they're spicing up a little, but they're getting a little ridiculous and they're getting a little broken. Well, this season's they suck. Don't go for this season's, okay? I shout out to Urs. I saw him play Grand Arena and he was raging because he tried the Vadercron, trash. Rolocron, crash. Faces Darkside Raycron, absolutely breaks the game. So gotta find that balance, CG. But anyways, those are my two main ideas of how we can change up Grand Arena for the end game. But at the end of the day, we are here not because of capital gains. We are here because we love this community. We love this game and we want what's best. As content creators, I'm sure everybody wants to say this, and I'm just going to echo it for the other content creators. Guess what? We want the game to succeed. The more the game succeeds, the more we're going to stream it. The more content we can do on it, which is more marketing for capital games, which is where I get confused because I think they would want us to market it more and stuff like that. But we're not going to dive too much into that. I really do hope that there is a changing for the free to play lower end Grand Arena and for the Kyber competitive Grand Arenas because it gets stale and it gets boring. And another one last point from what Beaver said, it's like if you lose a Grand Arena match like today, what do I have to do, right? Like I'm done. I do my dailies and I'm done. Like what? We sim all these, we sim all this, we do. All right. Yeah, you got Galactic Challenge. You can play it over 20 times. By the way, this Galactic Challenge absolutely sucked. I just had to put that in there. And then you do the marquee event. Great. Great. Oh, what am I going to do? Am I going to look into the Journey Guide event and just scroll up and down on my GL Honda requirements being done? Like, I don't know. We all loved Grand Arena, from the Grand Arena Coliseum to Speedrun Grand Arena event, which CG, where is that? We want this game to succeed, and a lot of the game's success and why a lot of people have stuck around is Grand Arena. That is the golden egg. We are starting to see some pretty heavy cracks in that egg before it's ready to blossom. Now, we do have a massive update coming up later this year. They confirmed it for the game. I am hoping that part of that update is not just about new whale food, the lightspeed tokens, all that, everything. I'm hoping and praying that a part of that update addresses the Grand Arena issue, addresses the stale territory war issue. That's another issue, but that's not why we're here today. But one thing that I am going to sidetrack on as we close out this video is the fact that it's going into Grand Arena, how they're pushing stuff aside, they're forcing FOMO on us. Right, with Grand Arena. Oh, if you're not spending all of your crystals to upgrade your roster right now, and you're not going to stay in the top end, you're going to lose out on crystals. Look what they're doing for the first time ever. To unlock exclusive rewards, you'll need the following characters at Relic 3, which is Brutus, Kix, Captain Athano, and Quiggle. The 4 brand new pirates. You do not even unlock, as they say, special bonus drops on September 5th through the 7th. You do not get these bonus drops unless you take those characters to Relic 3, which, yeah, 5 stars, Relic 3, that's great update, yeah. Again, tying into Grand Arena. It's that FOMO. It's that putting the blinders on to the community. Oh, they're complaining about Grand Arena. Oh, let's release a new team with a new GAC Omicron. That's going to change the meta. That'll keep it fresh. No. Help us enjoy the game that you created. We love this game. We have an amazing community. From Fatville to Gerbil to Rabid Beaver to Kerrikal, Yotter to Nooch to Mat Master to Yotter. I think I already said Kerrikal. And most of all, Arnold. Arnold. We have an amazing community. We want what is best for this game. We care about this game and we care about the community. All that I ask at the end of the day is that you show at just 50% that you care about this game as much as we do. And a great first step would be addressing this Grand Arena issue. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you on the holotables. God bless you all.